This video is sponsored by Evil Genius 2 World Domination. Click the link in the video description to learn more. Or stay tuned, watch the video, and then click the link in the video description to learn more. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Evil Genius 2 World Domination. I hope you're having a good one because I am excited to be jumping into this, the sequel to a 2004 classic, that being Evil Genius. And for those of you that don't know what this is about, this is exactly the description that I've been given here. It is a narrative-driven, which gets a check from me. It is a spy-fi lair builder, which gets a check from me, in which you get to be the bad guy, and that is strike 3, knocking it out of the park. I don't know baseball, that doesn't make sense. The point is, I'm excited to be checking this out. This is a sponsored video, as the disclaimer at the start will have mentioned, and it is a little different to some of the stuff I've done in the past sponsor-wise, in that we are limited to about an hour of gameplay that I can show you. I have put about 3 hours into it before sitting down to record this, though, so I'm a little familiar with some of the ideas. And I'm actually very excited to show it off. I think this is something I'll be playing on the channel quite a bit. But how about a little bit less yammering and a little bit more geniusin'? We'll get the... my mastery of the English language knows no bounds, quite frankly. Anyway, moving swiftly on, we're going to start a new game. We're going to create a new one. And this is... oh, we're going to start a new game. We're going to create a new one. It's a pre-release build. The game's not out for a little while. These things might happen. And we have Maximilian right here. This is one of the geniuses that we can play. We have Red Ivan, we have Zalika, and we have Emma. Now, I am going to go, I think, with Zalika, because my 3 hours were spent with Max here. But they all come with various abilities and whatnot. Max, for example, can order them to prioritize jobs within his vicinity, so that's a button that I can press when I have him selected that says, hey, work harder, or he can get them to train faster. With Zalika, we can order minions to prioritize jobs in her vicinity, and science minions will get a bigger boost. Zalika can also immediately repair all items and extinguish fires in her aura, using smarts and, quote, nanobots. That seems good to me, so let's go ahead into the next option that we get, and this is where we get to pick the island that we are going to go with. So we have Crown Gold, we have Montañas, that one, and we have Cane Key. And on each of these, we can take a little look and see details-wise what we've got. So this one's in the South Atlantic Ocean, nearest to Africa, has a defensible choke point, and it's vulnerable to smash. We can just see the forces of justice threats down here as well. So Saber is high, Smash is high, the rest of them are medium. This one, for example, is high, high, medium, medium, high, and this one is high, low, medium, high, medium. I think we're going to go for this one right here in the Indian Ocean, this being Cane Key. And obviously, we can sort of get a bunch of ideas of what it looks like here, and we can see the buildable area. We have various floors too. So this is the floor that we'll be starting on, and we can go from there into, you know, this floor, and then that's the basement. That works for me, so we'll go with Cane Key. And I think we are going to keep the tutorial on, because I think this is going to serve this video, and this will probably be a two-part thing. The next video and this one will serve as sort of an introduction to Evil Genius 2, and then later down the line we'll jump in and we'll probably play through each of the geniuses here on the channel. So this will be the intro, and then those will be the dive in to do everything we can in this game, because it is just right up my street and I'm very excited about it. So I think we'll play on medium difficulty. Tutorials are on and we are going to begin. And honestly, there's a lot I'm liking about this. It has an art style that reminds me of how I imagine Theme Hospital used to look. I say how it reminds me of how I imagine it looked because it's like old games in general, right? You remember them looking a lot better than they really did. I tried going back and watching Rugrats recently, and that was, oh my god, it gave me a headache. It was, in my mind, that Rugrats was animated so much better than it really was. Just saying. No shade at Rugrats or Nickelodeon, but it was, it's a bit rough. Gave me a headache and made me feel a little bit sick and uneasy. Regardless, I don't... doesn't really have much to do with this, but this is good old Zalika right here. You know, she approves of the new island. That's great. I like it too, so we've got that in common.
Use the camera controls
and now we have to move the camera around. We can totally do that. WASD for your usual controls. Rotating the camera is middle mouse button. Mouse button. That's words. Zooming in and out is scrolling. Tilting is middle mouse up and down. Okay.
Giving me instructions like that.
I'm glad. I'm talking over the spoken dialogue here, but for a second there, I forgot that the characters are in fact voice acted, and I thought this was going to be a repeat of every other time that characters have text, but no voices, where I would have to voice them myself. Fortunately, I don't, and she's just scolding the tutorial advisor. And we're going to skip through this just because I want to get to the gameplay. The tutorial advisor in this situation, I am going to talk over and skip through stuff like that because, quite frankly, I want to show gameplay. I don't really want to sit and like show you all that stuff. You can pause the video where it applies. But what we got to do is we have to start building things. And the first thing we're going to build is a vault. And it wants me to build it right here. And of course, we're going to throw in some of these gold pallets, which is where we're going to store all of our gold, and get a nice door on there as well. That seems like it would probably be, you know, pretty good idea. So we'll confirm that. Those two were having a chat there, but that's fine. So there we go. This is getting built up. We'll go ahead and speed things up a little bit so that we can, you know, again, get through it. I'm trying to show you the game here a little bit and introduce you to the concepts. So, like I said, it looks like how I imagine Theme Hospital looks. I know that I've played Theme Hospital in recent years. It doesn't look like this, but it looks like how I imagine it did. And it has a lot of similar vibes to sort of those kinds of games. And I love that. I really do. I absolutely do. Now, next thing we need to build is a barracks so that my minions can rest, having committed a bunch of evil deeds throughout their day. So we'll give them some nice beds, give them some nice beds on the other side as well, and give them a nice door there too. So we'll confirm that. We'll get them, you know, building their thing. And we have this arrow here pointing at the systems menu. So let's have a look at objectives, because we do have some optional ones, such as Dreaming of World Domination, which I can claim and get some extra money from. Fantastic. So the next thing we got to do is get ourselves a mess hall. So we'll get them a nice 10 by 10 mess hall right there, nice little entrance way, and we'll give them some places to sit and enjoy. I also kind of want to get a... I kind of want to get a door on there, thinking about it. So, well, I can't build corridors right now, so we're not going to worry too much about it. But regardless, we'll get a door on the mess hall at some point, and everything will be fantastic. We also have an optional objective right now to construct lockers in the barracks. So here's what I'm going to do. Because we have this right here, and optional objectives are pretty good. I'm actually going to move these beds a little bit, is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to get a couple more in here. So something like that and that. And then I wonder, can I do this and this? I absolutely can. Fantastic. Now we are struggling with power right now. So we got to build ourselves a power station. And this time it's not telling me... It's not really telling me where to place it, which is fine by me. I think what we'll do for the power station, since we can build corridors right now as well, is we'll extend a corridor to here, and then we'll build ourselves a power station here. This seems like a pretty good spot, so we'll give ourselves just a 10 by 10 room, and then we need to put these generators in here. Now,
Without it,
generators are,
almost nothing will function.
they're pretty
Be
huge.
careful, as enemy agents will attempt to
Now,
sabotage your generators
what I'm
if they find you.
thinking is that I could maybe
Sure
move that
is
one. I don't know how
dark,
many of
isn't
these I
it?
need to build. Maybe just
Are you
one.
scared?
I'm maybe getting a little carried away here.
Me neither.
So let's take out that bit of wall because I don't think we need it. I do want a nice door on here, so we'll throw that there and we'll confirm it, and that will give us power in time. Now, my minions do need to mine out the corridor, and that's fine. They'll get that built up nicely. And this is actually looking pretty solid over here too. I did miss out on a bed though, so we'll confirm that. And that'll be pretty good for us. Now, if I remember right, the thing with, and we'll pause while I talk about this, the thing with the barracks is, I believe, lockers, yes, they increase your lair's minion capacity. So each locker is +3. So right now we're up to a capacity of 21, which we have, so we've maxed that out. And then the beds will partially restore their morale and vitality, which is good. And if I remember right, the basic food counter is smarts and vitality. So beds aren't all they're cracked up to be, I guess. I mean, I personally disagree with that. I absolutely friggin' love bed. It's actually, honestly, one of my favorite hobbies happens to be sleeping. So, you know, to each their own. All right. To each their own. That's fine. If my minions don't want to enjoy bed, I'm not gonna, you know, it's whatever. They're entitled to their interests and expressing them however they so wish to do so. Now,
Defeated agents lie in
we
body
have
bags
power,
on the floor,
which is fantastic
causing
news. We
minions to
do,
lose morale
however,
if they
need to
get too
throw in
close.
an incinerator.
Build an incinerator
The
in your power
incinerator
station to dispose of them.
is a particularly interesting little piece of
Open the
equipment,
character selection panel,
because that's
then
essentially
select Evil
where
Genius
anyone that
portrait to
dies
highlight
is,
and
yeah, they
follow
get thrown
your
in the
evil
incinerator.
genius.
That's how it works. It is called Evil Genius too,
You
okay?
need a control room to send minions
Just to
into
be
the world.
clear.
Let's lay down a plan.
All right,
for one.
you know, it's, I mean, don't, you know, it's how it is. It's just how it is. Now, it wants me to build a control room, and it's not really telling me anywhere specifically to place that right now. So I think what we could do is expand this corridor along and build it somewhere, well, anywhere over here, really. At the moment, the only dirt we can mine out is this this one here. These different colors are different tiers that we'd need to upgrade towards. So, for example, we don't really have a lot of space up here. So I think what we'll do is we'll bring ourselves a little corridor like this. And we could try and put a control room in there, which is slightly tempting to do. I'm actually slightly tempted as well to maybe bring this corridor the entire way around. So this is a total waste of money, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I'm a bit of an idiot like that. But something like that, I guess, kind of works out. And I guess we could expand the vault or something at some point as well. And I think we will do the control room up here. So here and
Radio
here
repeaters
and
provide
like
broadcast
that.
strength,
So that'll be pretty good.
allowing us to
Get a nice
maintain
door on
critical
here.
networks
And then these
across
radio
the globe.
repeaters are essentially what allow us to do our
The
evil
more broadcast strength you generate with your
scheming.
radio repeaters,
I also
the more
only
of the
need
world you can
one of
infiltrate.
these, but I'm
For now,
going to
let's
place
just
3 because I'll
infiltrate a
thank
little
myself for that a little bit later on. And I think we'll also place in some decor just to make the place a little bit nicer. So we'll get that in there. We'll get a nice light there and there. And I could do some chairs as well, which I'm not really opposed to doing, but we don't really need to. It's 17,000 to build this, so I am spending a lot of money to build these corridors and to get this control room in here. But I think I'll thank myself for it later. I might not. I might regret it deeply, but we'll find out. I think we'll also do this while we're here. And how much is this? It's 3,000 with an output potential storage of 2. I actually can't do that either. I think these do have to be apart from each other. So I think I think we might just scrap the idea of expanding the vault there, which is fine. It does make me think that maybe I should have had that corridor sort of go up a little bit and then across. Especially since I'm gonna need to expand the power generation at some point as well. Ooh. I might have made a terrible mistake here, but we'll find out. It's okay. It's what it is.
You may not
Speaking of power generation, there it is.
To the world stage.
So we're gonna need to get ourselves another generator. These are 3,000 each, so I'm gonna throw 2 more in there just so that we don't need to worry about power for a little while. And just because I can, I'm going to just expand the room a little bit as well. Just so that later on I can get more power generation in there again. So there we go.
Complete.
Power is situated. We also completed an optional objective. We've actually done 3 of them. So the barracks are done, the generators are done, and additional radio repeaters are done. Main objective right now is to go to the world stage. Now this is the world.
Is an excellent place to start
And
your journey
currently
towards
we
world
are
domination.
based here.
Select a
So-
suggested region or any other region if you know
Now,
what you are doing.
what the game's doing at the minute is like, hey man, why don't you, go scout out a region of the world and start, committing crime over there. And I think what I'm going to do, it is suggesting, Central Saber territories, Central Hammer districts, Eastern Smash Republic, Southern Anvil provinces. I'm going to go with the very, very Southern Anvil provinces, and I'm going to take over Australia and New Zealand. So the reason that we need those broadcast stations is essentially each of these broadcast stations has, they sort of represent a single territory that I'm working in. So that's kind of the idea. So that's why we have 3, so that I can go out and I can take over 3 different territories at some point. And I did just hear a new optional objective as well. So hire 6 more minions. We will track that on the HUD.
I'm all packed, boss. Send me into the world.
Okay, you're going to come back with plenty of gold. So what this is doing there, just to be clear, is essentially saying that if we go to the world stage and we go to Australia, we can send out my minions and we will get $5,000 in return for launching this scheme. It will take 30 seconds to complete, requires 2 workers, and it essentially consumes them, is what it does. Now, I can get more minions, I can get new minions, but what this does is it consumes them because it's viewed as they have too much heat to come back to the island. Now, if I do this, I will get heat in region of 10, and if I, max out the heat in the region will shut down for a little while. So we'll launch the scheme. We're not going to, dispatch minions to begin. They will not return to lair. That's fine. Do not ask again. Let's do it. Now, we are being tasked with getting ourselves a prison. And I'm thinking, oh, by the way, this area we might get to discussing. This is essentially the front for my lair. It is a casino, essentially. I mean, I'd say essentially, it is a casino. And eventually I can come in here and put some things in it. But what I'm actually going to do right now is come in and sell all of this stuff. Because what you'll notice is these slot machines cannot be salvaged. The only reason they can be sold is because there's still coins in them. So all of this stuff here that's ruined, I'm just going to actually slow the game down a little bit, and I'm just going to sell all of this because essentially it's just a bit of free money is what it is. So we'll confirm that stuff will all get taken out, and that'll be fantastic. Now, what I'm also thinking is that we obviously need a prison. So I think for the prison, I'm going to go for this space up here, and we'll go to build mode, and we'll start getting ourselves a bit of a prison. So it's going to need an entrance. And then if I remember right, what I can do is this. I'm going to leave that bit there and I'm going to go 3. I'm going to leave a gap. I'm going to go 3. And you'll see why I'm doing this in just a second, but there is method to my madness. We're going to do this. And then I'm going to go like this. And I could, if I really wanted to, double this up a little bit. This is excessive, but again, method to my madness. I am an evil genius after all. So what I can do, these are 5,000 each. I don't really need 4 of them, but I'm gonna get 4 of them. And then these interrogation chairs can go up here. I think that's pretty cool looking. Those are $15,000. Oh my God almighty, no. Okay, we'll cancel those. We'll just have the 2 cells for now. Okay, we'll expand this eventually. That's going to be my plan. I'm also going to double up the doors because I can. And I think that would kind of make sense for a prison. So I think that looks pretty cool, right? That seems like a decent layout for a prison. So it's going to be 31,000. That's incredibly expensive, but I like that. I think that's kind of cool looking. So that's going to be our prison. We only need 1 holding cell and 1 interrogation chair, and we need to hire more minions. Are we maxed out right now? We are. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. We'll expand the barrack. Well, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you know what? We are going to expand the barracks. We're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to move all this stuff around a little bit, because I kind of have an idea for how we can do this in a way that's going to actually let us expand the barracks in kind of a cool way. So if I were to go and do that, I can go ahead and put more beds in here like this, which will give us, you know, more room for the minions to rest and whatnot and relax and do all that good stuff. I could then move these lockers to be along this wall like so. And if I really wanted to, I could do more beds sort of over this way a little bit, which doesn't really seem like a terrible idea. And I could probably do something with walls again to sort of divide this up a little bit better and a little bit more sort of interestingly. But I think what I'll do is, plain and simple, I'm actually going to move these in 1 more. And we're going to have this wall on the left just be a little bit, let's see. So what we need is you to do that, and I need to go and do this as well. And then I need to not do that bit, and I need to do that. And then on this side over here, we're essentially going to do the, so confirm that. We'll go in, go to items, and we'll do lockers on the other side as well. So 1, 2, 3, confirm. And that's going to give us a nicely expanded barracks is what it's going to do. Now the minions are going to complain a little bit right now. We have capacity for 15. There's 21 in the lair, so they're not going to be thrilled about that. But the capacity is now 21 again. So that seems all right. I'm also curious to see how this corner behaves. I've never really linked rooms like that before, so we're going to see what ends up happening. Also, the cells are going in, which is fantastic news. So the prison is, well, it's up and running, and we're not doing so well with power right now. Oh boy.
We don't need roads.
Okay, let's see. Get a couple more generators, and we'll go and just give that bit back to the land. We'll confirm it. And we need to get ourselves I think a scientist from the world stage. Now we can do that in a minute, because I just want to see how this comes together. And I also want to know, what's my current 33. Okay, we can get 33 minions. That's actually pretty good. So let's have a little look here. Let's see. 6 more minions is done. Establish additional criminal networks. Now we can actually do this. We have to do 2 more. We have 2 of those broadcast stations not working right now. And finish scouting any region. Now we can do that as well. No problem at all. So the barracks has been nicely expanded. Let's go to the world stage. Now,
Select a scientist scheme.
let's
Special
see.
schemes are often highlighted
1,
on the
2,
world
3,
stage
4.
with
So we would
colored
need,
signs.
what, 2 more
Keep your
broadcast
eyes
stations to
open for
take
these
over this
important
entire,
schemes.
well, actually, no, I guess what we can do is let's go and scout the southern Anvil provinces, and let's also scout the eastern Anvil provinces, and that will get 1 bonus objective done. Now what we also have to do is get ourselves a scientist, which seems like a pretty good idea. Or we can spend 30 minutes and get $20,000, or 3 minutes and get $10,000. I think we'll focus on the scientist. It's going to take 30 seconds to do that,
Once complete,
which is fine by
the
me.
scheme will yield you a fresh-faced
So,
scientist.
we've got minions heading out to scout the regions. We've got minions heading out to get ourselves a scientist. We have a prison right here ready for the scientist when they get back to join our cause. And we have you guys who are not doing so good in terms of smarts right now. Now, if I remember right, it is so food will give you more smarts. Can I maybe move that to there and move that to there? And then I can in fact throw a couple more in there, which is something I do want to do. I want to have that mess hall just a little bit, better than it was. So we'll speed things up. We should have a new criminal net. We already have one more. We should have another one coming in just a moment. And we should have that scientist at some point as well. The helicopter can only hold so many. A new criminal network. There we go. So that bonus objective or optional objective is done. And we've done both of these as well. So fantastic. Little bit of bonus money is never a bad thing. Now what that means is, and I'm going to pause just while I have a look at this. So essentially we're 48% done when it comes to getting this scientist. Now, that is in the very, very southern Anvil provinces, which has about 50% heat right now, which is not ideal. We can essentially do one scheme. That's what this is. So Research Grant is a scheme, and then Charlie Bliss is a scheme. We can do one scheme per region. So right now, we're not doing anything in the southern Anvil provinces. So basically, what I reckon we do is we could commit to robbing a bank, basically. Unfortunately, though, looking at it, this one's going to take 30 minutes. Even at 2 times speed, that's 15 minutes. I'm not really interested in that. 3 minutes for $10,000, though. I'm going to launch that. We're not going to get the minions back, but that is fine. And then up this way, we can do the same thing. 3 minutes for $10,000. We'll launch that. And then once we get a little bit of heat in these regions, which we are probably going to have in Australia and New Zealand, we can go here and do this scheme, which is we've been told that there's a massive drug scandal happening. However, with all those eyes on those other criminals, we could play it up and reduce our heat. Takes 10 seconds and 5,000 gold. So basically, we can do a bunch of stuff, be an absolute menace, and then go and reduce our heat after the fact, which is absolutely fine by me. Hello, Mr. Scientist. Again, we're going to skip through this conversation because gameplay. All right. So, a training room is the next thing that the game is wanting for us. Now, training rooms, I think what we can do is just go for something like, I want to say something like this, and we could maybe go like that as well. And we could go a little bit further back as well. If we really wanted to, we could do something like that. So give ourselves a really, really good chunk of space. And to be totally blunt, we could do this as well. We don't need to, but we could. To save on the money, though, I'm just going to go with a very, very small training room with a lovely door on it right there. Because right now, all it needs is this. It just needs a scientist training station. So we'll do, let's see, we'll do this. And we'll take this out as well. And we can just expand the training room, into all of this space as needed, essentially. We could do a little bit of decor in here if we really wanted to. I'm not really thinking we want or need to, but we'll do a couple of chairs because we're nice like that. And there we go. So we'll get that going. And we'll get ourselves a few more scientists once it is up and running, which will be absolutely fantastic news for us. Now, why are you two... So your smarts aren't fantastic right now. It'd be nice if perhaps you went and chilled a little bit. What are you up to now? You're just walking around, okay. I mean, they're just talking, that's fine. But if they'd go relax, that'd be great. Get their smarts up a bit, relax, chill, have a good time. I'm also slightly concerned that this thing here requires 2 electricity. That's fine. We currently have a surplus of 8. We're definitely getting to the point where I think we're going to have to repurpose this power plant room right here. But we'll see how that goes. Regardless, we now have minion training available. And request scientists for your lair 2. So let's go ahead and request that we always have 2 scientists in our lair. And immediately there, we have, who is this? Fernando Duck. Good old Fernando Duck. All right. Fair enough. I guess that's now, Dr. Fernando Duck. Fair enough. Good job, fella. A good name, honestly. Right, so we now need a laboratory. Now, we can totally do that, but I also noticed this optional objective here for 20,000 gold from schemes. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to spend 5,000 to lower our heat in Australia and New Zealand, which has essentially, by the looks of it, cleared out everything else we could have done down here right now. So what I think we'll do is grab ourselves this, so $10,000 in 3 minutes. We can absolutely do that. Then this region here looks like it has got 2 as well, so $10,000 in 3 minutes. We will do that as well. That'll give us a bit more heat here, but we can definitely reduce it, and that'll keep us in a pretty good spot. So we also need to interrogate an agent. We can do that at some point. But the 20,000 gold from schemes is relatively easy. And I guess what we can do is go ahead and get ourselves a laboratory. So I'm thinking, well, I think this space over here will be pretty good for it. So let's do something like this. Although that is going to limit me if we ever try to, you know, take some space up here. But thinking about it, we probably don't. We're not really going to have the time to do that today. I don't think we're going to be able to get to that point of research in this particular pre-release run. So we'll not worry too much about it right now. What we will do is this, and we will do this. Get ourselves a nice door for the laboratory, and get ourselves a nice whiteboard right in the middle of the room there. So we'll get that going, speed things up, and see what we can't do to get that built in hopefully no time at all. Now, in terms of other things, let's have a little look here. Main objective is coming along. Optional is still fine. 18% on that is not bad either. I think we'll be able to manage to get the 20,000 gold from schemes in just about no time at all, to be completely honest. And I think that'll be good. I think that'll be very good. And that is going to be that for part 1 of Evil Genius 2 World Domination. Thank you so much for checking out this video, everybody. Once again, check the link in the video description to learn more about the game releasing later this month. And stay tuned and maybe consider subscribing. Part 2 of this preview is coming up in just a little bit right here on the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.